Welcome to the Language in Motion podcast, where we share inspiration, tips, and tricks from stories of success and failure on the language learning journey. Today's episode was requested as a sequel to our previous episode on the present perfect. Today, we will be clarifying how to use some words that usually come with the present perfect and are often very confusing for English language learners. These words are for, since, yet, already, and just. If you haven't listened to our episode on the present perfect, we highly recommend doing so. But we'll do a quick review here on how to use the present perfect. We use the present perfect to talk about something that has started in the past and that continues into the present. We use the present perfect when the time period referred to has not finished, and when actions repeat in an unspecified period between the past and now. In this case, we usually use an open expression of time. For example, this morning, this week, this year, today, and in the last year. It is not possible to use the present perfect with a concluded expression of time. For example, yesterday or 4 years ago. Some examples of using the present perfect are: I have known your brother since he was a child. We have not eaten much today. They have come to our house every day this week. We also use the present perfect for actions completed in a very recent past. We also use just in this case frequently. For example, I have just finished my homework. Another use of the present perfect is when the precise time of the action is not important or not known. For example, I have been to London. We use been and gone as past participles of go, but they have slightly different meanings in the present perfect. We use been for life experiences. For example, when we have visited a country or when we know a place. Some examples are: she has been to Chicago. I have never been to Egypt, but I want to go there. We use gone for actions with results in the present, when someone is not present at the moment. For example, she has gone to Chicago. So in this case, we know that she is in Chicago now. I'm sorry, but she's not here. She's gone to work. My brother has just gone to the supermarket. And again, in this case, we understand that he's at the supermarket now. With the present perfect, we use for and since to talk about duration. If someone asks, how long have you lived here for? Your response can use for or since. We use since with a moment in time. For example, the United States has been independent since 1776. Or, I have worked here since last year. We use for a quantity of time. The United States has been independent for more than 200 years. I have worked here for 1 year. So again, since is a specific moment of time, and for is with a quantity of time. All right, so now let's make sure that we're clear on how for and since are used by practicing together. Decide whether we should use for or since to complete these sentences. We have been friends. We were children. We have been friends. We were children. The answer is, we have been friends since we were children. I have studied English 10 years. I have studied English 10 years. Ready for the answer? I have studied English for 10 years. How long have you lived here? How long have you lived here? And the answer is 4. How long have you lived here? Has he called? You last met? Has he called? You last met? Ready? The answer is, has he called since you last met? I haven't seen him more than a week. I haven't seen him more than a week. The answer is, I haven't seen him for more than a week. My parents have been together 50 years. My parents have been together 50 years. And the answer here is, my parents have been together for 50 years. All right, so now that we're feeling confident about since and for, let's move on to the other words. We'll start with yet. We use yet mostly in questions and negative sentences. Using yet shows that we're expecting something to happen, to have happened, or to not have happened. It means at any time up to now. In spoken English, yet almost always comes at the end of the sentence. For example, I haven't found one yet. Have you finished it yet? I haven't seen him yet. Yet is often used with the present perfect, mostly in questions and negative sentences, but yet can also be used in other tenses. All right, moving on to just. We use just to say that something happened a short time ago. Just is almost always used with the present perfect. It comes between the auxiliary verb have and the past participle. For example, I've just seen the new film. He's just called. Have you just arrived? And finally, let's learn about already. We use already to talk about things that have happened, often earlier than expected. It usually goes in the middle or the end of the sentence, just before or after the verb. For example, I already went to the grocery store. I've already had breakfast. Already is often used with the present perfect for an action that has happened in the recent past or at an unspecified time in the past, but already can also be used with other tenses. For example, have you already been to New York? He's already fixed it. They've already sold their house. Okay, so now let's practice these words. Complete the sentences with yet, just, or already. And remember, we use yet to talk about something that we're expecting to have happened, just for things that very recently happened, and already for things that have happened, often earlier than expected. I ordered a book last week. Has it arrived? I ordered a book last week. Has it arrived? And the answer is, I ordered a book last week. Has it arrived yet? There's no point in going to the park since it's raining. There's no point in going to the park since it's raining. And the answer is, there's no point in going to the park